Welcome to Book Whispers, where every day a new story softly speaks to your heart.
What if the world around you laughed at you for being different? What if you didn't look like anyone else and that made you feel like you didn't belong? This is the story of one such little creature, a duckling unlike any other. One bright summer morning, in a quiet corner of a farmyard, a mother duck sat patiently on her nest. She had been sitting there for days, carefully warming her eggs with love and hope. One by one, her eggs began to crack and hatch into adorable yellow ducklings. Their tiny wings fluttered, and they chirped with excitement as they saw the bright new world for the first time. But one egg, the biggest of all, took longer to hatch. The mother duck waited, hopeful and curious. Finally, after a long time, it cracked open to reveal a large, gray, and awkward-looking duckling. He didn't look like the others. He was bigger, his feathers dull, and his beak slightly crooked. The mother duck blinked at him. The other ducklings whispered and giggled. "He looks so strange," they quacked. Despite his odd appearance, the mother duck welcomed him with a soft nudge. She named him last, giving him the same loving attention she gave the rest. But the farmyard wasn't so kind. The animals stared. The hens clucked rudely. The cat teased him with cruel remarks, and even the other ducklings wouldn't play with him. Wherever he went, he heard the same thing. "You're ugly. You don't belong here." The little duckling tried to be cheerful. He waddled behind his siblings, swam across the pond, and tried his best to fit in. But the bullying never stopped. Day by day, his heart grew heavier. He often sat alone under the willow tree, wondering why he was so different. One day, he couldn't take it anymore. With tears in his eyes, he left the only home he had ever known. He wandered far and wide, through forests, over fields, and across rivers, searching for a place where he might be accepted. As autumn came, he found a small pond hidden deep in the woods and made it his home. The leaves turned golden, the wind grew colder, and he lived quietly, away from the cruel voices of the world. He watched the birds fly south and longed to join them, but he felt too unsure, too ashamed. Winter was harsh, snow covered the ground, and food became scarce. The duckling shivered alone under the trees. Many times he thought he might not survive, but he didn't give up. He curled into himself, finding warmth in memories of his mother's soft nudge, and waited for spring. And spring did come. The sun shone warmer, the snow melted, and green returned to the land. Tiny flowers bloomed by the pond, and birds returned with cheerful songs. One day, the duckling saw a group of large, graceful birds gliding on the water. Their white feathers sparkled in the sunlight, and their long necks curved like poetry. Drawn to their beauty, he crept closer, his head low. He was sure they would mock him too. But as he approached, they turned to him with soft eyes and welcoming calls. "Come swim with us," they said kindly. Confused and scared, the duckling looked into the water. For the first time in his life, he saw his reflection clearly. Gone was the awkward gray bird. In his place was a magnificent white swan, elegant and strong. Tears filled his eyes, not from sadness, but from joy. He had grown into something beautiful. He wasn't an ugly duckling. He was a swan all along. He just needed time to grow. From that day on, he lived happily among the swans, gliding across the pond with grace and peace in his heart. The world had once rejected him, but he had found his place at last. He had discovered that being different wasn't bad. It was just the beginning of becoming who he was meant to be. Have you ever felt like you didn't belong? What helped you feel better? Would you have been kind to the ugly duckling if you met him?
If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Book Whispers for more inspiring stories every day. This is Book Whispers. Come back tomorrow for another story that softly speaks.